Okay. Everybody hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can
Hello.
hear you.
Okay. Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Because students come from around the world. Maybe you are in China, maybe you are in Asia, maybe you are in another country. So the different place is a very interesting class because we located in different place, different country. So it's the maybe it's a multicultural. Everyone come from different country. Everyone have their own culture. So we can learn more than just the class, just the knowledge. That's interesting. And all this year we got the web-based class. Maybe I think maybe next year it will be better. It will be better. But currently we have to prepare to study through the internet. So this is the sad things. But we should work hard to learn more knowledge, to learn skills about the research, and to read more papers. Now, this is the basic things for research students because you have to do lots of work in specific area and should finish specific papers. It's big papers and we have to finish the journal papers. So you have to read the lots of things, read the books, read the papers. You have learned the knowledge through the class and definitely you have to work very, very hard because it's the difficult moment. We have class, we have tutors, but we have to communicate through the internet. So this is very hard things. For our class, there's the project management. Maybe we have no lots about the management. Maybe if you work in the construction area, maybe you learn lots of skills or the managerial knowledge in this area. But it's in the research level or it's in the postgraduate study. So we have learned more things and theories in this area. For example, we should know things like information technology in this area. We should learn something like building information modeling in this area. It's the new things. It's not just we use paper, we use the pencil to do the managerial work. We have to use the technology. But the basic theories, we should learn how to manage the human resources, how to manage the equipment, how to manage the materials, and so on. Now, how to design the plan, how to realize the plan, how to do the thing. So that's the basic theory that we should learn. And after we learn the theories, we should learn more about the project management. This means we have learned more skills, new skills. For example, IT skills, how to use computer, how use the internet, how use the virtual reality, the new technology in our construction area, or improve the efficiency in our area. So this is very important things we should understand. Learn the basic knowledge and the basic theories, and then improve your knowledge, improve your managerial skills through the new technology. So that's the background about our class. Today, we will learn the fourth chapter, chapter 1, construction practices. In this chapter, we got several objectives. For example, the first one, recognize the size and impact of the construction industry. Of course, it's very, very clear. It's a big size and have big impact to the whole society, all the country economic, all the country people, and all the society. We got a lot of impact. So this is very important industry in every country. In every country, I'm not sure whether you come to China before, maybe because you are the maybe it's the first time you will visit China. So if you come to, you will recognize the size and the impact of the construction industry in China. So how many students have been in China before? How many students? Please. Have you ever visited China before?
I'm in China now.
Okay, that's good. And the students? No, no, okay. I understand.
我第2年在中国。
Okay. Yes. Compared with other developed country or other developing country, the construction industry in China is very, very special in the past maybe 10 or 20 years. We got the infrastructure, lots of infrastructure, the railway, the rail station, highway, and the different infrastructure, electrical, 4 generation, the web and the 5 generation, and so on. So lots of infrastructure, and at the same time, we got lots of residential building for people to live in. So that means lots of people move from the rural area to the urban area. Now, that's the city urbanization. So maybe this is very, very important for China to build lots of buildings. But everything has 2 sides. Everything has 2 sides. We got the good side, and at the same time, we got the disadvantages. So lots of money, lots of people, we put lots of resources in the construction industry. Other industry maybe need more attention. So everything has the 2 sides. But from the basic perspective, the size and impact of the construction industry in China is so big, too big. The second objective is understand how a construction project moves from concept to reality. This is interesting thing. For construction projects, we have the same process. Maybe every project have their own characteristics, have their own features. But for the process, how we construct the buildings, this is the same process. We got the design stage. We got the architectural design, we got the construction design, structure design. This is the design stage. And then the next stage is the construction stage. Now we got construction stage. After we finish the whole construction, we got the operation stage. So we have the same stage. Now this is interesting. We move from concept to the design stage. Now, for architects, they think about the idea of the buildings, and they think about the appearance and the rooms and the space for the buildings. So this is the concept for architects. For project manager, they read the drawings, construction drawings, and move the drawings to the real buildings. Now they should use the some materials, construction materials, like the steels, now concretes like the timbers, and then put them together to get the real buildings. So this is the process, more from concept to reality. Now, that's the second objective. We should understand the process. The next one is identify entities involved in construction project and the various project delivery systems that link the participating entities. In this sentence, the entities refers to people or refers to different parties or the different organizations involved in the project. For example, we got a project client. We got the client who invest lots of money for this project. We got the private client, we got the public client, for example, the government. They put lots of money for the hospital, for the university, and so on. So we got the private entities. Private entities, maybe they develop the building, the residential buildings for people to live in this building. That's the different entity. And at the same time, we got the architects who design the appearance and the function of the building. And we, at the same time, we got the structure engineers. Structure engineers should make sure the safety of the buildings. They should consider the forces, consider the loads, and put different construction materials together. Now we have to the structure engineers should consider the structure framework, to design the beams, to design the columns, and think about the capacity of foundations and so on. So this is the structure engineers, And at the same time, when we move to the reality stage, we got the project manager, we got the general contractors, we got the subcontractors, we got the material suppliers. So this is the different entities. Maybe it's people, maybe it's the organization or institution. So this is the entities. The problems, how we can put the entities together. This means how we link them together, how they work together to finish the whole project. This is very important because one of the big features of our construction industry is fragment. We have lots of people, we have lots of organizations, and it's a long time to finish the building. So it's a very fragmented industry. The method to sort out the problem is to link them together. This is the project delivery systems. We have the design, bid, construct. This is one of the systems. We got the design construction, design building, DB system. We got the turnkey system. We got the BOT systems. So there's a lot of methods to link the different entities together, participants together. So this is very important thing. We understand the different organizations, the different people involved in one project, and the method to link them together, how they work together. This is the third objective. The final objective is to introduce the role of the project manager. Project manager is the key for the whole construction process. He has to communicate with other entities. For example, the project manager should communicate with the client to ask the financial support, to ask the budget to cover the cost, construction cost. So the project manager has to control the process of the construction. So they have to plan the schedules. They have to decide or develop the plan, how long we can finish the project. And for one specific construction stage, the time it used to finish. So this is the rule for project manager. And the project manager should control the cost. Now, that's another very important point for project manager. So project manager should understand the knowledge and the project should be very experienced, have lots of experience to manage the project. Now, because the project is very complex and involve lots of people and involve lots of organizations. So they should be negotiated to different participants. This is a key rule for project manager. Okay, this is the learning objectives for the fourth chapter. Now, the fourth chapter in the introduction chapter, we go to the basic knowledge, we go to the basic background. And so the next, now we should understand the construction industry. Construction industry, one word can describe this industry. It's a large, it's the huge, it's a huge. The construction industry represents a large component of the national economy. Construction industry have big influence to the national economy. Normally, for example, in the United States, value of construction equals $0.93 billion. Value of GDP equals more than 17 trillion. So the construction equals 5.44% of GDP. So it's the huge, it's a big percentage for the construction industry. The construction information on the construction market and the GDP is updated monthly. Normally it's monthly, but it can be updated by different states. Maybe it depends on the years. It can be updated monthly and updated based on the years. The information represented for the values in the percent of GDP is for in the USA, but in other countries, it's different. Normally, we can find the comparable information from different countries, But normally, the basic characteristics of the construction industry is the percentage in the GDP. It's the big percentage, have big influence to the whole economy, national economy. In addition to economic impact, the construction industry touches the life of every person. Everyone has to live in the room. Everyone would like to buy a big house or buy a beautiful house. So this is the reason why the construction industry have impact to everyone's life. Because maybe for one people, they work the whole life to get a big house, work hard for the big house. Maybe because in China, lots of young people, they work very hard. It's for just for one house for their life. So it's very expensive. It's very expensive in China to buy a house. I'm not sure in Europe, but I'm sure in every country, if you would like to improve your living environment, you have to spend lots of money to buy a new house. But in China, this is the big thing for young people. How about in your country? Everyone who can give some opinion or talk to introduce how young people can buy the big house or buy the room in your country? Who can talk about the situation in your country? Yes, I know it's not easy to buy. Very different. I think it's very difficult to buy.
Because it's so much difficult to buy house for a young person.
$20,000, 20,000, 20,000. Nearly 1,040,400, 1,004,000 yuan in China. Yes, it's expensive same situation. So everyone have to work hard to get the house to be. Yes, that's situation. That's the situation. The construction industry, construction industry have influence to everyone's life, everyone's life. 2 million. Okay, yeah, understand. Yeah, it's very difficult. But that's why the construction is very important. It's very important for the whole society. And the next one, the next feature, it's a heterogeneous, heterogeneous and complex. Heterogeneous and complex. This is very easy to understand because we think about the process. The process, we have a different stage. We got the concept stage, we got design stage, we got construction stage, we got maintenance or operation stage. The stage is very long and complex, and at the same time, one project involves different professionals. That means people have to work in very specific area. For example, structure, foundation, construction, management, and so on. So we need all the construction industry need the different professionals. This is for the normal buildings. If we concern about the railways, the bridge, or other infrastructure, it's more complex. We need other people from different professional areas. So it's very, very complex. The construction industry is comprised primarily of small companies. So there are some very large companies. Normally, we got a huge, in China, the situation is we got a huge state-owned construction company. Now, for example, the China Construction Company, we got lots of state-owned company, construction company. But at the same time, there are huge small companies in terms of the subcontractors. For example, some small company, they just do foundation works, or someone just do the concrete work, or someone just do the other installation, electrical installation or equipment installation works. So we got lots of small companies, its project vary from small to gigantic. The project will have a small project, maybe it's just one house, it's a small project, but at the same time, we got huge projects like railway stations, universities, all specific buildings, hospitals. This is the big or huge the projects. This is the feature about the construction industry. Yes, we do have state-owned company, and also we will have small private company. Yes, the same situation in China. For the public facilities, normally state-owned company, they win the bidding. They win the biddings. They can do the public facilities or the public infrastructure, but they can subcontract this project to different private companies. And the state-owned companies, they just do some management work. They design the plan and they manage the results. They manage the equipment and so on. And the rework will be done by small private companies, state-owned company, just winning the bidding, the public facility or public infrastructure, the biddings, and they subcontract this work to different private companies. So next, we will introduce the characteristics, the features of construction project. Construction projects are complex, means intricate. It's very complex. For example, the development of a project normally consists of several phases, several stages. But fortunately, the stage is the same. This means we got a different project, but at the same time, we got the same process. And it requires a diverse range of specialized services. In terms of we need the different professionals. People from different people have different skills. From areas as financial organizations, governmental agencies, engineers, architects, lawyers, insurance and service companies, contractors, material and equipment manufacturers, and suppliers, and construction craft workers. There are more than these people or organizations, and there are lots of entities involved in this project, in one construction project. We got architects, they design the architectural drawings, and we got engineers, we got structural engineering, we got the mechanical engineers, and we got the pipeline engineers. They design their specific area, specific drawings, and the general contractor, they manage the whole project. They move the project from the to the real buildings. So they have to manage the materials, manage the subcontractors, manage the equipment, manage the supply chains, and so on. So lots of entities, lots of people involved in one project. Now this is the complex. Now we got the different, we got the complex process from design, construction and operation. We got different entities, got different professionals and organizations and institutions. Now, this is the first feature about the construction project: complex, intricate, complex, very complex. So from this discussion, we can understand why management is the key things for the successful of one project. So you should manage lots of things: time, resource, cost, people, safety, and so on. So for the project manager, the key people, they should think about the whole thing, they consider different perspectives, consider the different things. It's very difficult for project manager. They have to learn lots of knowledge, and they have to practice in the real project. Now they manage the real project, they got the experience. And experience in the project management is very, very important. Now, for example, they have to get some experience in communication. Now, how to communicate with other people, how to work with other people, how make people work together. So this is the key rule for project manager. They think about the cooperation, because people have to work together to finish the successful project. The second characteristic about the construction project is time consuming. Normally, it will take a long time to finish one construction project. Now, during the construction process, a project involves many skills, materials, literally hundreds of different operations. This needs time to finish the whole process. Every process must follow a natural order of events and restrictive sequential relationships among the project's many segments. Let's present all the components given in previous slide. Is project manager. Yes, normally project manager have to deal with, how to handle all the components, but all the components handle all things for the project in the construction stage. But this depends. It depends on different delivery system. For example, if the delivery system is design, build, build, design DBB, design, build, build. In this delivery system, construction project manager, they consider all the tasks in the specific stage, construction stage. Maybe the project delivery system is construction management. So the project manager should consider the whole design and construction stage. So this depends on the different project delivery system. We will discuss the details about the project delivery system in the later chapter. We will discuss this. But normally, when project manager have to handle all the things, financial budget, cost, time, safety, equipment, results, supply chains, and so on. So everything should be considered by the project manager. Yes, it's time consuming. The normally construction process it lasts more. It depends on the size of the project. Normally, it's several years to finish a normal construction project. The next feature is unique. Each construction project is unique. No two jobs are ever exactly the same. It's easy to understand. We built the same building, we built the same residential building, but it's the different. Maybe the structure is the same, but the location is different. The foundation is different. The internal loads or internal forces is different. So every construction project is unique. It's unique. No two jobs, no two jobs are every exactly the same. So it's the unique. This is the difficult things. We have to do the unique job every time. It's the new job. If structure is tailored to suit its environment, arranged to perform its own particular function, and designed to reflect personal taste and preference. What means the personal taste and preference? That means for architects, when they think about the design of the building, they think about first the concept of the building, then the detail design of the building, for example, the appearance of the building, the internal rooms, the space, or the function of the building. Every architect have their own appearance in this area. So they have their own taste and they have their own preference. For example, some architects, they prefer the concrete structure, and some architects, they prefer the shear wall structure. So everyone have their preferred structure framework, but this is depends on specific environment. For example, the foundation, the soil characteristics, and the situation about the whole foundation, and so on. So the environment is different. The architects, they have their own preference. So this is why every construction project is unique. The environment is different. We have different place. We have different soil situation. So this is the different things, and we have different function and the internal space requirements. So this is the reason why the construction project is unique. The construction projects are subject to infinite variability. The different. Every project is different. Is different. Is unique and different. Construction is subject to the influence of highly variable and sometimes unpredictable factors. For example, what means unpredictable factors? The weather. We got the good weather, we got the bad weather. So we should think about the weather conditions. Especially in China, for example, in Zhengzhou city, we have to consider the air condition. The air condition, we have to make sure we got the clear air. So if the air condition is bad, the whole project have to be stopped by the government. This is why it's difficult to predict some factors. It's difficult to predict the air condition. We need the clean air. So maybe if it's the bad, so we have to stop the whole construction project. Special currently in Zhengzhou is the rules for every project. It's the rules. That's the unpredictable factors, the weather, the air condition, or other factors, financial, or the various, and so this is unpredictable factors. The construction team include architects, engineers, craft workers, specialty contractors, material suppliers, changed from one job to the next. Now, this is also the unique project because different people do different projects. Architects, engineers, the professionals, the workers, laborers, contractors, general contractors. Maybe the general contractor is the same, but the subcontractor is different. It's different. Material is different. Suppliers is different. It changed from one project to the next project. All the complexity inherent in different construction sites, such as subsoil conditions, surface topology, weather, transportation, material supplier, services, local specialty contractors, labor conditions, and available technologies. Now, this is why the construction project is complex. And this is the key reason now why the project is unique. And each project is variable. It's different now because we got the different condition, we got the different environment. So that's why every project is unique and it's complex. So that's construction project characters. So currently we have introduced the background, the important about the construction industry, and then we have introduced the characters about the construction project. Now this is the foundation knowledge for us to understand the following theories. Now, we got lots of managerial theories, we got lots of managerial methods or skills. Now, but why we need this method or skills? This is because the characteristics of our construction project. Now, this is the reasons why we should need specific managerial methods. Now, why we should learn the different theories, because our project is very complex. Our project is unique, and our project have different perspectives. So this is the reason. Okay, we have 10 minutes break. We have 10 minutes break. Okay. Okay, we come back. Everyone come. Okay, thank you. Okay, we just introduced the background about the industry, the construction industry, and we introduced the features about the construction project, such as the uniqueness, the complexity, the huge, the big. Now, this characteristics about our industry. Next, we will introduce the construction process. Construction process also are unique. We just introduced the Carrick, one of the important features is unique. Every project has their own situation, their own specific environment, subsoil, subsoil condition, structure, framework, structure types, and so on. So every is unique, but the construction process tends to be similar from job to job without the similar process. The similar process in terms of the price can be standardized. All the job or task, construction jobs or construction tasks can be standardized. And each process of the job can be improved. That we can use the new technology, to improve the efficiency of this job, how labor, all the workforce to the job. Now we can improve the efficiency, we can improve the quality of this job. Now, so every job, every task can be improved. And the process can be optimized with the new way. We can find the better way to finish the process, to finish the project. Now, so we can improve, optimize the whole things. Now, for example, traditionally we use the pencil to draw the whole drawings, construction drawings. We use pencil to design the drawings. Architectural drawings, structural drawings is slowly, it's very time consuming. But after we use the computer, the information technology, it will be very easy to design the whole building in terms of we use the CAD, AutoCAD, to use computer to draw the lines, rectangulars, draw the different shapes, draw the appearance, draw the outside of the building, the inside the rooms, and so on. So foot plans, vertical plans, and so the different views we see the building. So we can use AutoCAD to finish our design. And currently, after the development of information technology, we have the new things, new IT tools. It's called the BIM, Building Information Modeling. AutoCAD is two-based, two-dimensional based. In terms of it's 2D, it's 2D. It's the D drawings. But if we move from the AutoCAD to BIM, Building Information Model, it's the 3D models. All the structural engineers, they design the 3D models. It's not just to design the drawings, the model. They develop the model, and the model can automatically generate different two-dimensional drawings. So it's the optimal, it's the improve. We change the skills, we change the technology, and we optimize the process, the project process. Another very important thing about the construction project is this knowledge can be learned for the people, new engineers or new architect or the new manager. They can learn from project. They can get experience when they practice in the real project. So this can be learned. This is why we should learn the theories. After you get the theories, you have to practice the theories in real project. You get the real experience. The project unique is definitely unique. We have different environment, we have different situation. But each job goes through beginning and close out process. Now, each job have their start time and the finish time. For example, for the concrete job, concrete, we have start time and we have the finish time. And for the steel bar job, steel structure beam steel job, we have beginning time and close out time, finish time. Change happen regularly, but even change are handled through a consistent change order process. Each job have to change based on the situation, based on the environment, but the change can be handled by the manager, project manager, because the change have a consistent order process. So currently, lots of books and papers. Currently, the papers or the books focus in construction management is on understanding and managing construction process more effectively. So we cannot manage just one project. We should manage the process. This is because project is unique. Each project is unique. We cannot just, with our book, just talk about how to manage the one project. We should consider to manage the whole process. The process is the same. We can manage the process. The process is a repeat job. Now, do the first job, the design, and then construction, and then the next stage. Now, we can do the same process. Now, this is why our managerial knowledge, research in this area focus on understanding and managing construction process. It's more effective. So we need to manage the process. The next topic, in the chapter, the fourth chapter, we should know the stage of the project and know the function of each stage, their rules of each stage. We should understand the stages because we should manage the process. Process means one process includes different stages. We got to start, we got to finish. So we have to manage the stages. First, the project stage. The first project stage is planning and definition. This is the conceptual stage. From owner need to definition of characteristics that will meet that need. For example, the owner, the project owner, maybe it's a private owner, maybe it's a public owner. Normally, public owner refers to the government, the city government. If the government would like to investigate one big hospital, they have to define the function of this hospital. They have to define the requirements of this building, the whole project. They have to define the characteristics and all these requirements. This is the design requirements, function requirements should be meet. What an owner have identified the need for a new facility, a new hospital, a new building, a new railway station. He must define the requirements of the building and outline the budgetary constraints. This is very important. When, for example, if the government would like to develop a university, build one university, they have to define how many students can study in this university. This is a requirement. Based on the requirement, they should provide a considerable or reasonable budget. This means the budgetary constraints. Budgetary constraints. If it's the 10,000 students, maybe it's needed just in a small budgetary constraint, small cost, small budget. But if the 100,000 students, maybe need the big budget. So the budgetary constraints depend on the requirements of the building. This is very important things. Owner will consider their requirements, and the owner will consider the function of the building, and based on the estimation, based on the experience, they will give the outline of this budget, the cost, the whole financial support for this project. All this financial support is based on the requirements. Compare with the students for one university, or compare with the patients for one hospital. So this is the requirements. Project definition involves establishing broad project characteristics such as location, performance criteria, size, configuration, layout, equipment, and services. This is the factors should be defined first by the owners. It's called the project definition. The location is in the rural area, urban area. It's in the inner city area, or the different outside city area. It's a very different location. Performance criteria: how many students, how many patients, how many students for the university, how many patients for the hospital. This performance of this buildings, size, configuration, layout, equipment. The equipment for hospital different compared with the equipment needed for the university. Each different facility needs different equipments. Services, how the building can provide the services. All this involved in the definition. So the definition stage is very, very important because owner will carefully think about their requirements. This is very important things. Owner should carefully think about the requirements, and based on the requirements, the owner then estimate. They think about or consider the budget or the financial support. This is based on the definition, based on the characteristics of this project, based on the location, performance, and so on. So based on this consideration, the owner can provide the considerable budget for designer for construction. So this is the next stage, the design stage. Design stage, from design characteristic to construction documents. This means designers, architects, they think about the requirements of owners and move the requirements to construction documents, to the construction drawings, or the shop drawings, the detailed design. Move from concept to detail. Maybe the concept is the 4-layer building. It shows the size of this building or the space inside the building, interior design of this building, and so on. This is definition of requirements. Is the concept stage. Designers should transfer this requirement to the detailed design. Now, for example, the steel bars for the column and the steel bars for one specific beams, and the size of stairs and the detailed framework of the structure. Now, this is the detailed design. So designers include architects and engineers, structural engineers. They think about the detailed design. The design phase, design stage involves the architecture and engineering design. Now, this is the two important design tasks, architecture and engineering design. It needs to prepare final working drawings and specifications for total construction program. Architectural design focuses on the function design, the building function design. They think about how the building can meet the requirement of owners, how this building can be, how we can design a better buildings to save energies. For example, the concept about green buildings, save the energies, and the location of the building or the topology of the building. So this is the architectural design. But for engineering design, they think about the structural things, the forces, the loads, the dead loads, or the lag loads, and the internal forces between the structure framework, the connection between the beams and the columns. Now, this should think about the horizontal loads, the wind, wind force, or the earthquake. So they should make sure the building is safety. They should make sure the safety of this building. There's the different tasks for designers, architectural design and engineering design. It needs to prepare final working drawings. The output of design is the shop drawings, lots of drawings, paper-based drawings. If you go to the construction site, you can see the laborers of the foreman. They carry out the blueprint shop drawings, the detailed work drawings. Now, this is the design output, design results. With the advent of high-speed computing and massive data management capabilities, the various design components can now be incorporated into single database, producing integrated design in a digital form. This is, if we come back to the previous slide, we talk about improvement, we talk about the optimization. How we can improve the design. We should use the computer. We should use the IT technology, information technology, the IT method. For example, the database. For example, the building information modeling, the BIM. So this is the new technology. This is the new method we can use to manage the whole project. We can use to design the whole project. So this is in the design stage. We use high-speed computing, computers, and data management methods. We put the whole things, the architectural design, the structure design, the MEP design, mechanical, electrical, pipeline design. Now, all the design data into one model. Now, this is the building information model. Actually, in fact, building information model is a database. We put all the things in the database. And the database have the format or the structure to manage the whole building information or whole building data. whole building data. So this concept is called the integrated design. What do you mean by integrated design? That means we use one model, or we use one platform, or we use one system to design the whole building. Everyone, every professionals, architects, structural engineers, MEP engineers, they work on the model. They work on the platform. They use the system to finish their design. They can communicate through this model. They can work together based on this model. So this is resulting in a building information model, BIM model of the project that constrains all information on the project in a uniform digital format. Now, this is very important, the digital format. If we analyze the two words, digital format, the digital means it's computer-based. We use computer to finish our design. We use computer to start the design. We use computer to communicate with other professionals. It's the digital design. It's not paper-based. It's not we use pencil, we use paper to finish our design. We use computer. It's digital. Format refers to standard. Refers to standard. Building information modeling. One important thing is we define the standard in terms of we define format, how we can use the model to start the whole building information. What's mean by whole building information? That means we should use the model to start the design information, architectural design, structural design, and EP design information. We should install the project management information. We should install the material information. We should install green building or sustainable design information. All kinds of information should be stored in the model, in the BIM model. So we need one format, one standard to define this information. This is more important because this is the new method. The BIM is the new method for design and will be widely adopted in the future. In China, lots of companies currently they use BIM to sort out the different design problems. In other developed countries like United States and the United Kingdom or the Japan or the different developed countries, they have long history to use BIM method to finish their design. Very, very useful. We will talk about details about the BIM technology in another course, BIM series and practice. But for now, we should know the lots of you can find different materials, for example, steel bar materials, concrete, and timbers, different things on the construction site. Now, the difficult problem is the manager should handle all the process, handle all the labors, people, and control the time, control the quality, and make sure the safety on the construction site. So the process of physical erecting the project, put all the materials together and put equipment and manage the equipment on the construction site to make sure the project can be finished in time at some standard of quality. This involves providing the manpower, labor, construction equipment, materials, suppliers, supervision, and the management necessary to accomplish this job. So this is the rules for manager, rules for project manager. Handle all the things happen on the construction site. They have to handle all these things. This is the procurement and the construction stage. If we think about the whole building life cycle, actually there are three main stages. Design, construction, and operation. After the construction, we have finished the physical work and we finish the whole things and get the real building. Then another very important stage, the following stage, is the operation stage or the maintenance stage. So this is very, very important stage because maybe then the design and the construction stage several years, last several years, but for the operation state, maybe it's 40 or 50 or 100 years. So it's a very, very long time for the maintenance about the building. So maintenance refers to another very important area. It's called the facility management area. How we can manage the facility in terms of how we can get the investment back, how we can maintain the high standard function of this building, how we can use the different space. So this is the facility management. It's another area, it's another professional area. But for now, we focus on the first two areas, especially we focus on the second area, procurement and construction stage. The first is design stage, then is the construction stage. For project management, we currently focus on the second stage, procurement and construction stage. But we should know there are three main stages for the whole building life cycle. The whole building life cycle: design, construction, and maintenance. After we introduce the main stage for one project, another very important thing we should understand is the stakeholders or the entities involved in one project. Stakeholders and the entities. Stakeholders or entities may be people, maybe organization, maybe the institution. But the key stakeholder is the owner. Because the owner should define the requirement and function of this building. The owners should provide some budget to finish this building. The owners should provide some financial support to finish this building. So this is very important for owner to provide the financial support to the whole building. Owner responsibility for a project is the key person because it's a defined requirements, defined function. The owner, whether public or private, is the key party that gets the project financed, designed, and built. Financed provides the financial support, but provides the money and the budget. Designed, make sure the design satisfy the requirements of this building and the function of the building, and actually move from the concept to the reality, the build stage, the construction stage. So it's the key party, the owner. Owner include two main types: public owner and private owner. Public owner are public bodies ranging from federal government down through state, county, and local entities. Public owners. Special in China, lots of construction projects belong to public owners, the government, lots of the facilities and infrastructure, they belong to the government. Government investigate or support this facility and the buildings. So the public owner refers to federal government, state, county, local entities, local government, county government, state government. Public owner must proceed in accordance with the applicable regulations for bidding procedure, construction contract administration, and other matters relating to administration of the design and construction process. This means public owner take responsibility to the whole process from the bidding stage to the construction stage. They should think about the bidding procedure. The general contractor then contract with the general contractor, and the regulation and the administration of design and the construction process. Private owner may be individuals, partnerships, cooperations, or various combinations. Private owners. In China, there are several very big private owners. But normally, because in China, the dominant owner is the public owner. Normally, it's the public owner. But in China, there are several real estate company, like Wanda, Wanke, and so on. Lots of real estate companies. They develop the residential buildings and sales this kind of buildings to the people and so on. So the big real estate company. This is the private owners, main private owners in China. But for the public facilities, railway stations, bridges, all the university hospitals, all this belongs to public owner, the state. So that's the different. Maybe every country has their own situation. This is depends on the political systems. The people who transform the adapt to the real design, all the design documents is designers. Normally, we got two types of designers, architect and engineers. Architect refers to professionals who consider the architectural design. Engineers include the structural engineers and MEP engineers, mechanical, electrical, and pipeline engineers. They consider the design about the electrical to support the whole building. You should consider the energy saving, you should consider the safety of the electrical, you should consider the different issues related to the equipment and the facility. So this is the engineers. Structural engineers should design the framework of the whole structure and make sure the safety, to make sure the building can support the internal forces or outside forces, wind forces, or the earthquake forces to support, to make sure the safety. So this is the architect and the engineers. Design a facility to meet the owner's needs. This is the first rule for designers. They should consider the requirements of owners. They should consider the needs of the owners, the function of the building. So this is the design a facility to meet, to satisfy the needs, the requirements. The architect engineer, also known as the design professional, is the party or firm that designs the project. In the different project delivery system, architect engineer can be designers, design professionals, or the party or firm design the project. Many public agencies and large corporate owners maintain their own in-house design capabilities. For example, in our university, the Zhengzhou University, we have our own design company, Zhengzhou University Design Company. This is the kind of public agencies. It's called the in-house design capability. They have the in-house design capability. They can design the buildings in the university. So this is their own in-house design team, their own in-house design company. In the traditional and common arrangement, the architect engineer is a private and independent design firm that accomplishes the design and the contract with the owner. Traditional method, traditional project delivery system use design, bid, and building, this kind of method. So the architect engineers, designers should sign a contract directly with the owners. Now, after they finish the design, then the owners can bid, provide the bids, and the other general contractor can winning the bid or compete for the bid. So this is the different stage. The first, the owner should sign the contract, design contract with architect and the design and engineers team. This is the design team. This is the traditional method, but we have different methods because we have the different project delivery system. For example, DB system, design build. We have turnkey method. We have BOT method. We have a construction management method. We got the different methods. So the rules for designers in the different methods are various. That means they can be involved in one design team and they can be involved in one contract, design build contract. This is depends the method. And the next very important stakeholders is the general contractor. General contractor. General contractor responsible for construction of the whole project. General contractor in a form that contract directly with the owner. Now, normally owner will sign the one contract with a general contractor for the whole project. This is the traditional method. After design, we got the design drawings, and after the bidding stage, the owner will sign the contract. With the general contractors. Contract with the general contractors. Under the single contract system, the owner awards construction of the entire project to one prime, the main contractor. That means the single contract system. The main or the general contractor, they sign the contract and they will do the whole jobs. They will take responsibility for the whole jobs to make sure the construction task or construction work can be finished. The prime contractor is fully responsible to the owner for the performance of the subcontractors and other third parties to the construction contract. For a big project or very complex or very specialty tasks, maybe the general contractor cannot finish the job. Then they can subcontract these jobs to other parties, to other teams. For example, for Kern Wall, the special work to the different to other construction teams or other construction companies. Subcontractors this to other parties and the construction contract. But basically, general contractor is very important because they directly contact with owner, direct contact with owner. That means they take responsibility for the whole project, and the owner will directly contact with the general contractor, and general contractor will make sure the project can be finished in the plan and can be finished within the budget and make sure the quality of the building and the safety of the building, the whole things. So this is the task for general contractor. Okay, we have introduced three key stakeholders: owners, designers, architects and engineers, design team, and the general contractors. This is the three key rules, three key stakeholders involved in one project. So they have their responsibility and they have to finish their jobs. But it's not enough. We have other stakeholders or other entities that do the different jobs for the construction. So we have a break, 10 minutes break, and the next class we will talk about other stakeholders. Okay. Hello, okay, we will come back. Okay. Okay. We just introduced the process, construction process from the planning and definition and project stage, design, procurement and construction. And we have introduced stakeholders, very important people involved in the project, owner, architect, architect, engineer, the architectural designer, structure designer, and AP designer. Okay, we just introduced the architects, engineers, and general contractor. General contractor take responsible for the whole construction of the project and directly sign contract with the client, with the owner, with the project owner. And another stakeholder is a specialty contractor, specialty contractor. Specialty contractor responsible for a narrow portion of the project. This means, for example, they take responsible for the structured concrete work. They take responsible for foundation work. So it's the very special task, very special or narrow portion of the project, narrow portion. So take responsible. And subcontractor, they normally sign contract with general contractor. It's not directly with the owner. Subcontractor sign contract with the general contractor. This is the contractual relationship. Contractual relationship is very important. We should understand. Subcontractor directly contact with the general contractor. General contractor communicate directly with the owner, the client, project client, or the owner. Some contractors to concentrate on a particular task or aspect of the construction project and are therefore referred to special contractor. Particular task, concrete is the steel work. It's kind of a particular task. Foundation is a particular task. So this is a special contractor. Next, we will discuss the procuring method. This means the method or approach used to select the contractor. For owner, they have finished they define the requirements and function of the building and select the design team, and the design team have finished the whole design drawings. Now, after finish the whole design drawings, the next step, very important step for owner is to select the general contractor. Normally, there are three approaches. That means three methods to select the contractor. The first is general method, widely used method. It's called a competitive competitive bidding. Competitive bidding is the very important, the dominant method for client, for owner to select the general contractor. Competitive bidding. Competitive bidding. What do you mean by competitive bidding, or the method for competitive bidding? A larger proportion of construction in different countries is done by contractors that their work in bidding competition with other contractors. This is the main construct, the large portion of construction, large proportion in different countries for owner to select the general contractor. They obtain their work in bidding competition with other contractors. When bidding a project, the contractor estimates how much the project will cost using engineer's drawings and specifications. This is why for design, build this kind of delivery system, why the design work should be finished first. This is because after designers finish the whole drawings and specifications, the client can start a competitive bidding. Because general contractor, they have to use the detailed drawings and the specifications to estimate the cost for the whole project. They should see the drawings, they should calculate the cost based on the drawings. Now, for example, the size, about the rooms, the material price, and the volume of concrete, the weight of the steel bar should be used, and so on. So they calculate the volume of materials based on the drawings and the specifications. This is the reason. Why the design should be finished first. Then the owner can start the bidding stage. So this is very important. They start the bidding stage after the design. So for contractors, they should estimate the cost, and they should think about how they can provide the competitive price. They should provide their competitive price based on the foundation cost, because the contractor should add some reasonable profit to the cost and guarantees to do the integral for the stated price. Cost plus profit. This is the final bidding price for a general contractor. They estimate the cost based on the drawings and the specifications, and they carefully think about the profit, then add the profit to the cost, and finally they get their own bidding price. So the bidding price, bid price quoted by the bidding contractors are most often based on principle that the low bidder usually receiving the contract award. This is reasonable. Lowest price, bidding price, will win the final contract. Especially for public facilities. For the public owners, they have to open the whole details for every contractors, for every society peoples. So they have to open the things. Then the rule is, or the principle is, the lowest bidder will win the final contract. So the government will get the less pressure from the public. If the highest bidder wins the pressure, the government should explain why they can win the contract because they provide the higher price. Why they provide the higher price and win the contract? They have to explain this reason to public. So if they choose the lowest bid win the contract, they have little pressure from the public. This is why for public or for the government, public owner, the government state, why they normally choose the lowest price to win the contract. But it's simple, it's clear. We can see the disadvantage for this method, competitive bidding method. Normally, one contractor will provide the lowest price, but they can recover from the construction process. For example, they can ask the design change, frequently ask the design change to recover the money they lose in the bidding stage. This is the disadvantage for this method. Because for general contractor, if they would like to win the contract and to make sure their own profit, they can choose some strategy to provide the lowest bidding price and get the money back during the construction stage through different method. It's the immoral method, like the frequently ask the design change. So this is the problem. That's the problem for this method. Lowest responsible bidder. Work not awarded to the lowest responsible bidder, but this method, it looks like fair, but it has its own disadvantage. The second method approach used to select contract is negotiation. Selection is based upon qualifications. That means the project owner, they have to evaluate the qualification for each contractor. Each bidding contractor, they have their own standard, their own criteria to evaluate the qualification of the contractor. Sometimes it can be advantageous owner to negotiate a contract with a pre-selected contractor or small group of contractors on the basis of its reputation and overall qualifications to do the job. Negotiate a contract with pre-selected contractors or group of contractors. Normally they select 3 to 5 contractors, and owner will negotiate a contract with this pre-selected contractor. Most negotiated contracts are of the cost plus fee type. Cost, the basic cost for the project, and they can negotiate the fees, the profit plus to the cost. So this is a second method, negotiation. The final approach used to select contract is called the best value. Selection is based upon a mixture of price and qualifications. Yes, I have cost plus fee. Cost plus fee. This second negotiation, cost plus fee type, means the cost is based on the drawings and the specifications after designer finish the whole design documentations, and it's easy to calculate the cost, the basic cost. Now, this cost is for the whole project. But one contractor, they should get some profit. If they just, the budget just cover the cost, so the contractor will lose a lot of benefits. So they should plus some profit. But how much they can plus to the cost, how much profit they add to the cost. This is the negotiation time. They should negotiate with owners. Negotiate with owners. They should talk about or discuss the things with owners. So this is cost plus fee type. The third one is called best value. Best value selection is based upon a mixture of price and qualifications. This method concerns not only the price, but the qualification. How many registered first-class project or the structure, or project manager or the structure in the contractor team, how many equipment, and what the experience of the contractor. So this is the qualifications. In this approach, a portion of decision is based on price and the rest on qualifications. Competing contractors are required to submit their qualifications along with their bids. The owner then scores the bid and the qualifications, awarding the project to the contractor with the best score. Now, consider not only the price, but they should consider the qualification of this contractor. But for the first method, competitive bidding, the owner only considers the price, the bidding price. Now, this means the lowest responsible bidder, the lowest bidding price will win the final contract. But for the best value method, best value approach, owner consider the price, the bidding price, and at the same time, they should consider the qualifications of a contractor, their qualifications, their advantages, and their experience, and their awards in the past project, the quality of past project. So this is the qualifications, how strong their construction team, professional, how many professionals are involved in the construction team. So this is qualification. The best value for owner, they score the price and at the same time they score the qualification. Then they add the score together, they get the final score. The higher score will win the contractor. So it's not just only consider the price. At the same time, they should consider the qualification of the contractor. This is the third method, procuring contractor. Now we got three mainly methods: competitive bidding, negotiation, and best value. Best value. The next topic is very important because we should discuss how different stakeholders can be linked together. What's the relationship between them? What's the relationship between owner and architect? What's the relationship between owner and the general contractor? What's the relationship between owner and manager team? What's the relationship between general contractor and the subcontractor? So project delivery system focus on the relationship between different stakeholders. Now, what's the relationship General contractor takes responsible for the whole project and directly contact with the client. This is kind of relationship. So we will discuss the project delivery systems. Normally, we got lots of different systems or the method, but the traditional one, or the dominant one, or the widely used one is called the DBC method. Design, build, and construct. Design, build, and construct. Now, from this word, we can say first design. After we got the design documentation, then we can start the building stage. After the general contractor to win the bid, win the contract, then they can start the construct stage. So this is the 3 stage: design, build, and construct. The 3 stage. The traditional way, widely used way, dominant way of procuring construction in different countries. This is the traditional and widely used: design, build, and construct. Traditionally, field construction is not begun until the architect, engineer, the design team has finished the design. So all the building work and construction have to be wait until they got the whole design documentation, drawings and specifications. So after architect, engineers, the design team, architectural design, structure design, MEP design, after they finish the design documents, then the next stage is building stage. The sequence is still predominant in the industry and is referred to as the design, build, construct procedure. After design, then the building stage. The lowest bidding price will win the contractor. The owner will select the lowest price bidding. The contractor to win the contract. After the general contractor win the bidding, then they can start their construct. So this is why it's called DBC, design, build, construct. Design, build, construct. And this is the dominant method in our industry, construction industry. The next method, project delivery systems, is called the design construct method. This project can be packaged in a variety of ways. Single point of responsibility for the owner. We got a single point. For design, build, construct, we got 2 points. The owner should sign contract with designers and sign contract with general contractors. Just 2 points. But for design construct, only 1 point to responsible for the owner, take the responsibility for the owner. When the owner contracts the single form for both design and construction, this is why we got the single point, because the single form will do the 2 jobs together, design and construct. And this is referred to as design contract project. A single form takes responsibility for owners, take all the responsibility. That's the single point. For DBC, design, build, construct, owner sign 2 contracts, 2 mini contracts, 1 for design team, 1 for general contractor. But for the design construct method, the owner sign 1 contract with a single form, and the single form will take responsibility for the owner. They do design and construction together. Usually, the contractor has its own design section with architects and engineers as company employees. Now, it's a big company, a bigger firm. They have their own design team and then they have their own construction team. So they can do the work together. The owner, designer, and builder work cooperatively in the total development of the project because there is only one company take responsible for the whole project. So the owner, designer, and the builder can easily work together. This means easy cooperation. They can cooperation. You can easily communication. You can easily negotiation. So this is the advantage for this method. The contractor provides substantial input into the design process on the matter about materials, construction methods, cost estimate, and construction time schedules. Traditional method, because design and construction will be done by two different teams. The design will do their own job, and the construction and the general contractor will do their own based on the design documentation. Normally, there is a gap. There is a gap between design and construction. Design just consider the requirements of the owners. The construction just consider the design documentations. No communication between them, no link between them. This is a big problem because in the design stage, normally design should consider lots of construction factors. For example, the site environment, the labor conditions, the budget, the cost, and the time constraints. Lots of things should be done in the early stage. But currently, if people select the design bid and the construction stage, the gap is between design and construction. But if the owner choose the design construct, they choose one single form. This means the integrated design and the construction. In the early stage, the design team will consider lots of matters related to construction stage, the material, supply chain, construction method, cost estimate, and so on. So all this will reflect in the design documentation. This is very important because it's like the bridge between design and construction. Now, they can communicate. They can be integrated together. But the contractor experience and expertise into the design process offers the possibility to achieve saving for the owner. This is the advantage because can save the cost for owner. If we talk about the new technology, the BIM, we will explain this in another course. Now, if we talk about the BIM, BIM is a platform and it's a system. It's very, very useful for design and construct because in the early stage, the design stage, when people create the model, they should put all the information, construction information into this model. This means that you think about the design information and the construction information together. If you have used the software Revit and the Navisworks, you will get familiar with the method BIM provided. That means if you use Revit to create this model, you should think about the schedule of construction. This means in the design stage, the designer should think about the schedule, the construction schedule, and add this into the model, So the model integrated all the data together. This data includes the design data and the construction data. the new technology, the building information modeling BIM technology, brings the new methods and improve the process or optimize the process, and finally can achieve the target of saving cost. This is very important for owner. Owner can get lots of advantage. Another project delivery system is called construction management, CM. Construction management. CM is applied to provide professional management services to the owner of a construction project with the objective of achieving high quality at a minimal cost. Professional management service. This means the construction management service include the project planning and design. They will manage planning and design, project organization, design document review, construction scheduling, value engineering, field cost monitoring, and other management services. Normally, construction management have two types: agency construction management and construction management at risk. Now, this is the two types. Construction management. It's like construction management will represent the owners. The owner just communicate or negotiate with construction management. And the construction management, the agency will do the whole job. This is very important. They should have experienced professionals, lots of experienced professionals to manage the whole project. So this is another type of construction management. Normally, this method applied in some project like public facility project or the public building project. So they choose the construction management. The public owner, they choose one agency to take responsibility for the whole construction management. The next is called fixed sum contract. A fixed sum contract requires the contractor to complete a defined package of work in exchange for a sum of money fixed by the contract. Contractor should finish the work at some cost, and they can get a sum of money fixed by the contractor, additional money to the whole contractor. Has the protection for the owner's budget because it's fixed cost. At this fixed sum contract, the general contractor have to finish all the jobs. No additional cost. They have to finish the job under the budget. If the actual cost of work exceeds this figure, the contractor will take the loss. This is why the protection for owner's budget. If exceed this figure, exceed this budget, the contractor take the loss. They will take the loss. They will take the risk. The contractor take the risk. But for owner, there's no risk for that. The health protection for that. The two types. Lump sum or unit price. Fixed sum contract will just depends. It's not easy to say fixed sum contract cannot have a good quality work. This depends the skills of management. And This depends on the law system, political system in different countries. So the consideration is different. So reasonable if the public owner, they choose the fixed sum contract, they should have a system. They should have a system to take care of the whole work. For example, they should have some standard and criteria to make sure the quality of this whole works. So this is the situation that depends on different situation. But it's we cannot say it's the bad method or it's a good method because every method has its benefit, but every method has another side, the weakness side. So this depends on system, depends on the people to do the tasks. Yes. Another system called cost plus contract. Cost plus fee contract provides that the owner reimburse the contractor for all construction costs and pay a fee for its service. The contractor fee can use a provision that the fee should be stipulated percentage of the total direct cost of the construction, or that the fee should be a fixed sum. It's a little bit different compared with fixed sum contract. But for this kind of contract, it's rare to see. It's not popular for this kind of contract. And work by force account. Owner may act as own constructor rather than have the work done by a professional contractor. This situation means the owner have their own design team and construction team. The project is being built for the owner's own use. This method of construction is called the force account system. For example, if Guangzhou University, they have their building, teaching room building to design and construct, and the university have their design team and construction team, then they can choose the work by force account, this method for owner to use, because the owner accomplish the work with their own forces, design and construct the own forces, and provide the supervision materials and equipment itself. This is important. They can do the work themselves. This is called work by force account. Another important and new method is called the turnkey and BOT. Turnkey and BOT method. Turnkey and BOT in recent years is popular in China. It's popular, special for some big public facility, big public infrastructure project. The government use turnkey and BOT method. In a turnkey arrangement, the owner provides the facility design requirements to the contractor. The owner just defines the function or define the requirements of the building, and then contractor design and construct the facility under a single contract. After they finished the key to the project, it's turned over to the owner and the contract is closed up. It's very easy and simple for owner. All this will be done by one contractor. The contractor receives the requirements and the contractor turn over a key to the owner. It's very, very simple. Owner define requirements. Contractor design and construct the building, the facility, and then they turn over the key to the owner. It's very easy and simple. The similar method is called the build operator transfer. Build operator BOT method. BOT build operator transfer. BOT method contracts are an extension of turnkey method. The difference is the BOT method include additional stage. It's called operator stage, additional stage, operator stage. So compared with turnkey method, the BOT method involves the operator. This is normally used for public infrastructure, for example, the road or bridge. Contractor, they finish the construct work and they operate the roads and operate the bridge, the facility, operate the facility, and then after several years, then turn over to the owner, turn back to the owner. So this is BOT method. Turnkey and BOT is similar method. The difference is the BOT include the operator, include the operator stage. The final method of the integrated project delivery. The feature of IPD, integrated project delivery, is the shared risk and reward across all stakeholders. This method will integrate all the stakeholders together. All stakeholders will take the same risk and will get the same benefits. They share the risk and they share the benefits. IPD ties all stakeholders together. It's like they integrated the owner, the design team, the contractor into one team, into one organization. They share the risk, they share the reward based on the single contract and is signed by each stakeholder. This includes the owner, designer, contractor, and the subcontractors. Different stakeholders work together and integrated together. Such an arrangement of shared data, shared risk, and shared reward imposes the requirements upon the project of an efficient team approach because they share the data, share risk, and share the benefit. So they have big reason to work together. They have big reason to cooperate or coordination together. This is the project delivery system, project delivery, IPD delivery system. It's very important system because it's the new method for stakeholders. They sign the contract, they share the risks, they share the benefits. Everyone work together and integrated together. Okay. For now, we have introduced the background. This afternoon, we have introduced the background of construction industry. We have introduced the different stakeholders involved in one project, and we have introduced the process of project design, construction, and operate. And finally, we have discuss the project delivery system, IPD system, DBC system, turnkey system, BOT system. So it's very important we understand how the stakeholder can work together, relationship between them, how they can work together to finish the whole tasks, the whole construction works. The organization between different stakeholders, the organization of the project. So this is very important, clear framework about the project. we can learn some specific theories, specific managerial skills, because we should understand the basic thing about our project, the construction project, because our construction project have specific characteristics, specific features, unique, complex, huge side, and so on. So the characteristics determine we have to learn about the basic theory and the basic things, the background about the project. So we will finish our class here, and I support students read the books. I will send the book in our group, the web group. So it's the best way to learn the theory, to read the book. So the slide, I will share the slide, but it will be finished the chapter 1. After I finish the chapter 1, I will share the PPT, the slide. But for now, I suggest you read the book first to learn the knowledge, to read the book. That is the basic thing. And then the next, I suggest that you find some papers, research papers, because if you do the research, you have to read lots of papers, especially if your major is in this area, your research interested in this area. I suggest that you use some search engine like EI, SAI search engine to search some papers, to find some new research points, new research topic in the project manager area. So this is very important things. Read the books and read papers. Okay, thank you very much. See you next week. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.